Good evening, everybody. It's me, Mike, here for Cinco Squad. Grandpa Jay and John are off preparing the Yankees and Rays, respectively. John for the Yankees, Grandpa Jay gets the Rays for spring training now that pitchers and catchers have reported. So I'm here to break down some of the things that have interested me in the world of sports today and moving forward. And as you can see, there's two different sets of sports and teams here that I'm set to talk about, plus a little bit of baseball, because, of course, I love baseball. It is my favorite sport. But I'm going to start off with this. Unfortunately, not only did North Carolina follow up their loss to Duke, or their win over Duke, I should say, with a disappointing loss to Miami. As you can see, I'm still kind of hung up on the loss thing. Great game against Duke, but the loss to Miami was very heartbreaking. And not only that, but the heartbreaking part is we found out today Caleb Wilson has a fractured hand. We saw the bandaged left hand during the game. If you watched it, he had his left hand wrapped up in the second half, but he did come back and play and had a pretty good game even after that. But there was the concern that he was more hurt than we thought, and it turns out he's got a fracture. There's no timetable right now for him to come back, but as a North Carolina fan, I'm very discouraged over that, as well as the loss. And I have some concerns, especially without Caleb, in the sense that the team really seems to rely on Caleb to facilitate most of the offense and, frankly, most of the defense. He's an excellent player, both ends of the floor, projected number 4 overall pick right now. That could rise depending on what happens with Peterson over in Kansas, who's supposed to be number 1, obviously Boozer, but Caleb topped Boozer as far as the UNC Duke game. We'll see what happens with the Bonsa. I think he might end up going 1, Peterson 2, or Boozer 2. You can mix it in there, but hopefully Caleb is in the mix by the time we get to draft time. He's not coming back, and right now he is absolutely their best player at both ends of the floor, and this is a big loss for them. I don't think we're going to see him again. I mean, we might see him again towards the end of the year to gear back up, but it's really all going to be aimed at the ACC tournament. I think he'll be back at least by then, if not a few games sooner, but I don't like necessarily how this team plays, especially if they don't have him. I'm really glad Seth Trimble, obviously he hit the buzzer beater 3 to beat Duke. I'm very happy he's back on the team. It was nice to have a veteran presence on this team. I think he's one of the leaders of the team, but he can't do it by himself. And I've been very hit or miss with the depth on this roster. Dixon's gotten better. I mean, Vassar, sometimes he looks like he doesn't know what he's doing out there, especially on the defensive end. And sometimes, like he did in the second half against Duke, he looks like a world beater. He looks like he could lead the program, and he was the big transfer. And I keep saying this every time I talk about this team. That's my biggest concern, is he was the big get. He was the big pickup, and he hasn't necessarily consistently been what they need him to be. He's supposed to be a big man that can shoot and play both ends of the floor. I've liked him on offense. I haven't liked Vassar on defense. And so without Caleb, I don't know what this team is, and I don't know what they look like. And that's concerning for me as a fan, because I want, obviously, them to win an ACC title. I want them to win a national championship. And realistically, I don't know if they got it in them this year. I don't know what this team past Wilson is. I know I keep saying that, but that's just the biggest concern for Tar Heel fans right now. And any Tar Heel fans out there, let me know how you're feeling about this, because I don't know what to think, and I don't know what it's going to be when he comes back from a fractured hand. I mean, obviously it's not the most debilitating injury, or at least it shouldn't be. He's a right-handed shooter anyway, and right-hand dominant player, which is good because it's his left hand, I guess. You have to break your hand or fracture your hand. I would rather it not be the dominant hand. But still, it's like, how does he settle back in? How does that affect his ability to make accurate shots when he's holding the ball? I don't know. Not a basketball player. Somebody help me break that down. But hopefully it's not that bad. Hopefully he's not out that long. And hopefully he can come back and help this UNC team be as successful as it looked like they could be. We'll see what happens. I'm not keeping my hopes up necessarily, but I'm trying to stay as optimistic as possible. Another thing that did happen today was Nick Castellanos getting cut by the Phillies. And I had heard rumblings that maybe they were going to cut him, but this to me seems like a weird time to cut Castellanos. Camp is just opening. If you were going to cut him, I would have thought you would have done it, somewhere in the off season, especially because apparently this all stems, or not all of it, but some of it, or at least most of it, stems from the fact he did admit after he got released that he brought a beer into the dugout after he got benched in a game. I think it was in September, and he had it out with Rob Thompson, the manager, and Dombrowski, the president of baseball operations, and he had disagreements with the organization, and that's fine. I've heard of that happening with guys before, but the fact that you waited all the way until the beginning of camp when pitchers and catchers are reporting to make this decision means you really didn't want to cut him to begin with, and you just made this rash decision. What that means for Castellanos, I'm not exactly sure. I don't like what I've heard about his conflict with the organization. Hopefully for the next team he's on, it's an isolated thing where it was just a disagreement with the Phillies and he settles back in. I know I can't remember specifics, but I think I heard some stuff about some attitude problems in other organizations like the Cubs and the Reds, the Tigers, things like that. It's a troubling thing, but so long as that's not the case with whoever he signs with next, because I can't imagine he's not going to get a spot somewhere, because hit 270, 17 homers, 72 RBI, like he can contribute. Like this guy can still play ball, he hasn't played third in a while, but I know he can play the corner outfields. He can DH. Like he can contribute to an MLB organization and an MLB team in a playoff push net. Absolutely. Which brings me to the idea when John and I talked about it earlier today when it first happened about where he could land next. And there is a perfect fit for who has talked about getting a right-handed hitting outfielder and hasn't really done it. And that's actually the New York Yankees. Whole offseason, I was hearing, they were getting all these pitchers, and they're picking up Bellinger, and they're bringing Goldschmidt back, and Rice is going to be the starting first baseman. Great, and concerns about running the team back. But the whole time I've heard, well, one thing they're still interested in picking up at some point is a right-handed hitting outfielder. Well, here he is. He's a veteran. He's been around the block. Been with multiple teams. He's contributed to multiple teams, like I said, and he is a right-handed hitting outfielder. Not only that, but as John pointed out to me, and I hadn't even really thought about this, he's a right-handed hitting outfielder that hits for power especially and pushes the ball to the opposite field. He's an oppo taco machine when it comes to home runs. And what does everybody complain about when it comes to the New York Yankees and Yankee Stadium? That short porch right field. So it's kind of a match made in heaven if you look at it, as far as how he likes to hit, how he has success hitting, and the home field that he would be playing at least half of his games in. So Yankees, Brian Cashman, here's your perfect opportunity to pick up that right-handed hitting outfielder for cheap, because the Phillies still owe him $20 million for his last year of the contract. So you probably don't have to pay him too much to come to the organization. Nick, here's your opportunity to push for a World Series with another team immediately that you can automatically help with, because you have multiple parts of your skill set that can contribute to this team and is what this team needs. It's another veteran bat. It's another guy. And for those that are complaining that they're running it back with the same team last year, I kind of agree with Jazz Chisholm that pretty good roster to run it back if you have 4 guys on the roster at least that have won MVPs in the past. But here's your chance to add a main contributor that can help you out in multiple ways. Like I said, offensively and defensively, and he's new. It's not necessarily running it back. You're bringing in at least one new bat to the lineup that is a completely new player, has never played for the Yankees. So match made in heaven. I'd like to see it happen. Will it happen? Who knows? The Yankees are kind of stingy on spending their money, so who knows what they're going to do. But I want them to do this. Finally, last thing I want to talk about is, how about Team USA? They took care of Latvia, as they should have, today in the opening game of the preliminary round. We talked about on Tuesday the fact that, for those of you that don't know, again, another thing John pointed out, the U.S. men's national team for hockey has not won a gold medal since the Miracle on Ice in 1980. Now, Miracle is one of my favorite movies. I know it's one of John's favorite movies. I know Grandpa Jay still needs to see it. And if you're out there, I'm going to be telling you this both on camera and off camera continuously until you watch the movie. Watch Miracle. It's a great movie. But this is the push to win. It's been 45 years. It's time to win another gold medal. It's time to give the Miracle on Ice team a break as far as being the gold medal winners for Team USA. And you have the roster to do it. However, the first period concerned me today because you were tied 1-1 with Latvia, and it's no disrespect to Latvia. They have some good players, especially Elvis Merlikins in net. Shout out to you for making some phenomenal saves. You should have given up, way more goals than you ended up giving up. But it seemed like the team was trying to kind of feel each other out as far as how to play together as a roster in that first period. But then midway through the second, I noticed they all seemed to kind of get comfortable, and that's when they poured it on. They ended up winning 5-1. They put on a lot. I think they scored 3 goals in the last 10 minutes. I think it was 3 goals in the last 10 minutes of the second period of the game. They really seem to find their form, and hopefully that translates to the rest of the tournament, the next preliminary games, the medal round, all of those kinds of things, so that they can win a gold medal this year. I think they are capable, but as I keep saying, as everybody keeps saying, Canada looked very convincing in their win today. They beat the Czech Republic 5-0. They shut out the Czech Republic, and I'm sorry, I think the Czech Republic is a better team than Latvia. So congrats on beating Latvia 5-1, but a potential medal contender in Czech got shut out by this Canada team. This is a juggernaut, and if there wasn't an example enough needed, it was the fact that Canada's first goal of the tournament this year was by a 19-year-old Macklin Celebrini, who is one of the main pieces of the future of the national team and the National Hockey League. So that's kind of an example of the kind of talent they're boasting, where this 19-year-old that's playing top line minutes with Connor McDavid, the best player in the world, who is also on the team, and Sidney Crosby, who at one point was the best player in the world for a long time, who's now the third line center on this team, as we've previously pointed out. This is a tough team to beat. I think if they play their game well enough, Team USA can beat them. It will be a slugfest. But I like what this USA team showed in getting into a slugfest. Things were tough for them after the first period. It was not the performance or the start that they were hoping for. I could tell. But they got physical. And that's something that I didn't see the last Olympics from this USA team. They really didn't get physical. Now, granted, having both Kachuk brothers on the team definitely helps you in the physical department, but there was a lot of guys stepping up and playing a physical game, grinding out the game, and they ended up getting their scoring chances, and they ended up capitalizing on those scoring chances after they toughened up a little bit, got a little dirty, got a little grindy. So I like seeing them. That's what you're going to have to do against this Canada team, because they are so well balanced. They have so many physical players as well as skill players, a lot of them being the same player. They're physical and very skilled. So if you're going to beat this Canada team, which all eyes are on Canada, US, I think, for the medal game, the gold medal game, I think, is going to be Canada-US. You're going to have to play that physical game. You're going to have to grind it out. And you're going to have to survive a lot of offensive onslaught that this Canada team can put up. But you can do it. I believe in you, Team USA, and I'm excited to see what you can do for the rest of the tournament. Just please prove us all right that you can win this gold medal, and let the Miracle on Ice team rest. That's all I've got for you guys this evening. I know it's a bit of a shorter show than usual because I don't have my guys here. They're going to be back next week. I'm excited to be talking all these kinds of sports with them, the continuing of the Olympics. Hopefully, USA has won a bunch more medals and can start topping Norway, who seems to dominate the Winter Games overall. I'm super excited about what we got coming up. We got a lot of stuff coming up for you guys. So make sure to follow us at Cinco Squad Pod 05 on all platforms. We'll be around all weekend, all week, every week. We bring you the content you guys want because we're fans and we're doing it for the fans. And I really hope you guys connect with that because we're connecting with you. We love the love you're showing us. And so thank you again, by the way. We just hit 1,000 subscribers on TikTok. That's been a big goal for us. We just made it. Actually, last I checked before I came live here, it was 1,001. So somebody after the 1,000th from this morning added on to it. I appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys. We love to see all the support. We hope you guys keep rocking with us because we're going to keep rocking with you for all kinds of sports. I'll see you guys next time. The guys will be here, and I'm super excited for what Cinco Squad has for all of you out there coming up. See you guys next time.